So WWE 2K26 for the Nintendo Switch 2 is a complex game for me to review because there are things that I absolutely love about this game. I was a huge fan of the port of WWE 2K25 on the Switch 2 when it came out last year, and I thought they did an excellent job, conveying the PS5 and the Xbox Series version over to the Nintendo Switch 2. So I was excited for this one, to be getting it on day one. I did buy one of the big premium editions of it because I'm going to buy the DLC at the end of the day. I just don't like how many different versions there are, and some of them are very expensive. If you want all the bells and whistles, you got to pay $150 to have early access to it. But you would think with that $150, you're unlocking everything, right? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about the things that I really like about WWE 2K26 for the Nintendo Switch 2, and we're going to talk about some of the things I'm kind of mixed on, and then we're going to talk about some of the problems I have with WWE 2K26, because there are some massive issues that I have with this game. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's talk about the game, and let's talk about the gameplay first and foremost. Now, at its core, it is very similar to WWE 2K25 in terms of controls and things like that, but there have been some new things added in that really enhance the gameplay in some regards. There are new match types. As you can see here, the good old Inferno match has been brought back, which was available in some previous WWE 2K games, and I like this. It's fun, but it's not a match type that I think people are going to play all that often. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, there is a little meter, and the more moves you do, the higher the flames rise and the hotter it gets. Once that's filled up, then you can throw your opponent over the top rope, and they go into the fire, and nothing really happens. There's not like him burning and somebody hitting him with a fire extinguisher or anything. Nothing. The match just kind of ends. You see your opponent go into the fire, and that's that. Now, it is fun, but I don't think it's something that I'll be playing all that often. But the spectacle of it is cool, and it's always good to have various match types in games like this and always to be adding more. There's another new match type in this game as well, and that is the dumpster match. Obviously, that was a thing in the late 90s in the Attitude Era, and this match pretty much plays out very similarly to a coffin match, in which you basically have to wear down your opponent and then throw them into the dumpster and then do some button presses in order to close the lid. Similar to an ambulance match, which does make a return. But once again, it is nice to have a variety of match types. There's also 3 stages of hell match where you can choose to have different things happen for the stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. So being able to do that is pretty cool. And one of the biggest additions to this game is the new physics engine. And basically, characters will react much more with their environmental stuff. As you saw there just a few seconds ago, I hit Sola Sokoa face first on that chair, and there's a reaction to that. It's like it's actually happening, which I think is very nice. It's going to create a lot of very cool moments within the game itself, and I do like that about the game. That's probably the biggest improvement in my opinion, because like I said, WWE 2K25 was a really good game, so it's not like you had to do all that much crazy stuff in order to make it like a much better game or anything like that. And there's this weird boneyard thing, which I don't even know what the hell's going on here. It's like multi-tiered, and you're like in a junkyard, and there's all sorts of fun stuff to do. I really like this backstage brawl. Now, as far as the showcase mode, it is indeed CM Punk. I'm not a big fan of CM Punk, but I will play through it, I guess, just to get the various Punk attires and stuff like that that are hidden in this mode. Of course, it's very similar to previous showcase modes. You have missions to do during the matches, and then you do the missions. Now, what's interesting is I have heard on the Xbox Series X, this is very buggy. Nate the Hate actually had me try this out on the Switch 2, asking me if it ran well, because he was running into issues on the Xbox Series X, and if you look around online, it seems like it's a widespread thing. I'm happy to say that there is no issue with the Switch 2 version of that, so I don't know. I guess suck it, Nate. Like, not my problem, and nothing I can do about that. But overall, they're enhancing the formula that they have built in previous WWE games. And I think they do a very solid job of it. Like I said, WWE 2K25 is a super fun game once you get the controls and stuff down. And adding in new bells and whistles, new physics engines, new match types, that sort of stuff really does sort of enhance the value for people who are very familiar with the series. Now, I'm not someone who does the My Faction stuff or the GM mode or the My Rise mode or anything like that. It's not really my cup of tea. So being able to play this game and just experience wrestling, because that's what I want to do with it, it's very good. The game looks good. It runs good for the most part on the Switch too, and I'm very impressed with it. There's also mouse controls that you can do designs with that's exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 version. So very cool. And GameShare is indeed a part of this game as well. So only one of you, have to buy a copy of the game, and you can share it with your friends on the Nintendo Switch 2. So then what's the problem? It seems like it looks good. It plays good. Everything's all right. Well, let's get into some of these problems here. On the ground, you can see that there are thumbtacks, and I'm doing moves into these thumbtacks. Now, on every other version of the game, Xbox and PlayStation, when you do a move into the thumbtacks stick into the character's back or into their body. On the Nintendo Switch 2, it does not. Now, for some people, that's not going to be a huge deal, but for me, someone who enjoys hardcore wrestling and deathmatch wrestling, it does kind of take me a bit out of the experience. And more so, the problem for me is the commentators sell it like death. Like, oh, he's got those thumbtacks in his back. How's he going to be able to get them out? But on the Switch 2 version, they don't go into their back. Now, this isn't a huge problem or anything like that, but we're ramping up my issues with the game. We're starting from the issues that are minimal to the ones that really grind my gears. So don't think I'm overreacting and like this is the one and only problem, but it is something that hopefully can be patched in so that the thumbtacks do stick inside of people. It gives a better effect for the visual thing. Here is an 8-man match, and it's not running great. For some reason, I'm guessing because of power restrictions or something like that, the game definitely bogs down in these multi-man matches. Now, some people have told me that 6-player matches can get pretty crazy as well. Everything I've played has been decent enough, and it's not necessarily unplayable, but it's not an optimal experience. The frame rate is substantially lower, considering that a lot of this game is based on timing as well for reversals and moves execution and whatnot. It's very noticeable. Like, you saw Macho Man like flying through the air at like 15 frames per second there. This is obviously a much larger issue, and that's why it's kind of later on down the road in my issues segment of the video. But yeah, hopefully some sort of patch. Maybe you can, calm down on the crowd effects and stuff like that. Maybe they don't need to move around that much, so you can get a better frame rate for the game itself. Another problem I have is with the community creations. Now, in WWE 2K25, they did not have the image uploader, meaning that it was not compatible with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series created wrestlers, arenas, all that sort of stuff. It was its own ecosystem, and you could not design your own thing and upload it. Now, they did add this into the new version of WWE 2K26 for the Switch 2, and they added the mouse support, so you would think that would be a good thing. But when I go to community creations, there's only 6 pages of people. Now, on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series, there are multiple creations that are already out there. And for some reason, even though it's supposed to be working in conjunction with the PS5 and the Xbox Series created wrestlers, it's not. Now, I've read online, because I did a little bit of research into it, that Nintendo is like doing something weird where they have to approve images or approve uploads or something like that. I can't confirm or deny that, but the fact of the matter is this was supposed to be working in conjunction with the PS5 and the Xbox Series uploads, and I'm not sure what the holdup is. Maybe that's something that's coming a bit later, but it is supposed to be that way, and that is kind of annoying because it limits your creativity. But the biggest problem that I have with this game is just the way that they decided to handle characters, arenas, all sorts of stuff. Mind you, I bought the $150 edition. That gets me stuff like the Attitude Era pack, the Monday Night War pack, this, that, and the other. You look here at these arenas, and a lot of them are locked. And, oh, you need to play My Rise. You need to play Showcase mode. Okay, I guess that's fine. It's been that way in previous games and stuff like that. But you notice that some of these are now talking about something AAA related. And, well, we're going to get into that because let's go to the characters here and let's go ahead and pick someone. There's over 400 characters in this game. Now, granted, it's kind of beefed up a bit by having different things, like different variations of characters. But as you're scrolling through this list, you might notice that lots of characters that should not be locked are locked, but I paid $150 here. So how do I unlock these characters? How do I get Bret Hart? Oh, I got to do a battle pass, a AAA battle pass. Okay, that's kind of weird. Alundra Blaze can't play as her. Can't play as the Ultimate Warrior. I can't play as Hollywood Hulk Hogan, but I could play as Alpha. All right, why are so many of these characters locked behind this pass? Stone Cold, you can't even play as Stone Cold. You have to play through the showcase in order to unlock Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, I get what they're doing. They're trying to encourage you to play the game more. But let's actually look at how the Battle Pass works, because here's where things completely fall off the rails. I can't play as Scott Hall. I can't play as Razor Ramon. These are all characters that I could play as last year. Now, in last year's edition, you used to be able to buy something that would basically unlock all of the in-game characters outside of things like My Faction and DLC characters. But now there's this season pass, ringside pass they call it, and you have to play a lot to unlock this. When I filmed this footage, it was very early in my playthrough. I am still playing through the game. I've played probably 6 or so hours or something like that. I am on level 7 right now in real time. And when you look at what is hidden behind these battle passes, this is the free stuff. This is not the premium stuff. I have the premium stuff, but this is the free stuff. You have to play this game for extraordinary lengths in order to unlock characters that are in the game already. And there is no way to unlock them any faster. Except one. And we'll take a look at that in just a second. But like the Wolfpack bundle, like this is going to take me hours and hours of playthrough. And I don't necessarily like that. Like I understand it kind of harkens back to, how you used to have to play to unlock stuff in a game. But this is just arbitrary stuff. You don't really know what is giving you Battle Pass points and stuff like that. Like you win a match and you get Battle Pass points. Okay, but how many points am I getting? Are there parameters that can give me more points? What if I wanted to skip this and just unlock everything that is in the free Battle Pass? $77.61. They want me to pay over $220 to have the complete edition of this game and have everything available that I'm allowed to have available, because there's still characters that are locked behind My Rise, Showcase mode, and other things within this game. How is this greed allowed? How is this greed allowed? And it's a shame, because this is a really fun wrestling game. And I really like the new changes. I like the new physics. It looks good. It plays good for the most part, unless you get 8 people on screen. But you're basically telling people in order to get all the bells and whistles, you need to spend $150, because you got to get Macho Man 98. You got to get Piper 98. You got to get the WCW Thunder Arena. The only way to do that is by getting the $150 version or by buying the Monday Night War Pack. And you still want me to pay more money in order to access stuff that's already in the game. I honestly wish that I just bought the vanilla version like later on down the road, because I could have played WWE 2K25 and been fine with it. Like, yeah, the new physics are cool. The new match types are cool. But I don't know, man. So buyer beware with this game. There are a lot of highlights in the game, And honestly, there are a lot of lowlights in this game as well. So let me know what you think of it in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.